Good morning, everybody. I apologize for my tardiness. I was sharing the feed on our featured guests' page. Um, Once again, good morning. My name is Frankie Olivo. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another week of Sports Talk. Excited for today's show. First and foremost, if you haven't already, I invite each and every one of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow um, that page. It's Sports Talk with Frankie Olivo. Google me, look for me on YouTube, and please subscribe to that page. Let's get started. Today, we'd like to recognize a little bit of our athletes around our local area, and we'll get started with Alexis. Alexis is a middle school athlete, an amazing individual. She got first place yesterday in her cross country meet. She is also my cousin. So Alexis, I want to say I love you so much, mija. Keep it up. She is a multi-sport athlete. She is amazing person, amazing individual. She has a great support system from her mom, her aunts, her grandma, her cousins. We all love her. We always try our very best to go to each and every meet, each and every basketball game, to show our love and support for her. So congratulations, Alexis. And yesterday was her birthday. So if our friends and family could, wish her a happy belated birthday. It would be amazing. Good morning, Miss Ariaga. How's it going? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. So congratulations, Alexis, on your first place cross country meet, and once again, happy belated birthday, mija. Love you so much. The Los Fresnos Falcons, they traveled to San Antonio this week for a tournament. They were led by Jerry Martinez. He is still nursing a sprained ankle, but great experience nonetheless for the Los Fresnos Falcons. They got their season coming up very soon, November the 7th, if I'm not mistaken. So wishing our boys the very best for this upcoming season. They were led by Coach Genaro Martinez on the sidelines. So looking forward to a great season. Also, we had our veterans, our high school veterans had a scrimmage against Couch Elsa, and the receiving phenom Michael McHale. I will be showing some highlights of the team and of Michael very quickly for our community. So once again, the veterans were out there scrimmaging yesterday against Chelsea. Again, it's a great experience for them to build that chemistry. They did not have spring ball this past spring. So looking forward to our veterans pulling through this season. It's going to be a short district this upcoming year. They will only be having 5 or 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. So looking forward to the veterans, wishing them nothing but the best in this upcoming year. Now we go to our featured story, an amazing individual, an amazing athlete. Last week we had Denise Romero, Player of the Year for the Porter Lady Cowboys, and now we have Shannon Perez for the Homer Hanna Eagles. Good morning, Miss Perez. How's it going, ma'am?
Good morning. It's going good. Thank you.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for accepting the invitation to come out here and be with us today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The reason, Miss Perez, that I wanted to invite you is because I feel we have a need for our community to get to know our athletes, and more than anything, for us to support, encourage, and motivate our youth and motivate our athletes within BISD. So this is the purpose for our invitation for you, and thank you so much once again for accepting the invitation.
You're welcome.
As you know, Miss Perez, right now we are going through a lot of uncertainty throughout the world, throughout the state, and even here locally in Brownsville. Give us a little bit about your personal opinions regarding COVID. How that has affected you as a person, how that has affected you as an athlete moving forward.
Well, I feel like it's going to be a difficult time, but I feel like the best thing to do is prevent preventative measures because I mean, I've started recently taking vitamins. I mean, I've always taken vitamins, but I feel like as an athlete, it's very important to keep taking your vitamins, B12, vitamin C, keep it up. But it's really like made me put like my health in like the forefront of everything. So I think it's going good in that sense.
Awesome. Now you are a multi sport athlete, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Very quickly, please introduce yourself to the community. Who is Shannon Perez?
Um, well, I've always been very good in my education, and when I went to high school, I originally started playing cross. I started playing soccer when I was about 7, 8, and when I went to high school, I decided to do cross country in the fall just to like keep up my condition and everything for soccer in the spring. And then I fell in love with the cross country team and Coach Duran. She's an amazing coach. And my little brother's actually running varsity with her on the boys' side for cross country. And so she really made me fall in love with the sport and I just excelled in it. And I had several offers to run both cross country and to play soccer. But ultimately, I chose soccer.
Nice. And what has been your experience? What positions do you play in soccer? What has been your experience throughout throughout your childhood? Did you play a lot of summer ball, travel ball? How far did you travel? And what have been the experiences and the lessons that you've learned throughout your career?
Um, so yes, I did play a lot of travel ball, a very lot. I mean, traveling every weekend, San Antonio, Corpus, Dallas, Austin, and then I did play a lot of summer ball, spring ball. I mean, it was soccer all year round. I was still running cross country and then going to soccer practice at the sports park with the outside teams, and I feel like it really helped me stay structured and also it helped me with my education because not only was I pressured to do really well in soccer, but I was also pressured to do really well in school just to keep up the balance of having good grades and being a student athlete. Because the most important part is being a student, and nobody's gonna want to have an athlete on their team who's not very smart in the classroom.
Talk to us a little bit about the camaraderie that occurs during summer ball. What is the importance, in your opinion, of having good chemistry with your lady friends?
Um, I feel like the most important part is just getting to know each other because I mean, like they think of having like girls playing on the same team, they think of oh my gosh, they're just fighting all day. Well, that's not the case. Like we're playing soccer, so we have to be best friends. I mean, you're going out to eat with each other every weekend. You're spending like more than 48, 50 hours together every week. So you have to have a good chemistry. And if not, it doesn't translate well on the team when you're playing. And you could see it in teams where girls don't really get along and there's favoritism and things don't really work out to score goals or to make goals happen. But I feel like on my outside team, we really like focused on getting to know each other, and that just like happens very simple. Like, oh, okay, like we're gonna go out to eat after the game. All the girls are gonna go, so you're eating all together. You spend most of your life with them. So
Miss Perez, I love sports because it translates into a person someone's life. It
mhm.
teaches many great lessons. working well with others, discipline, being focused. That's very important in life as well. What lessons has cross country, has soccer taught you since you're throughout your life?
I feel like in cross country, it really taught me that just because a sport is a running sport and it might not seem like a quote unquote team sport, it really is a team sport. We're there every day with each other, waking up at 6 in the morning. They see you at your worst. And then in soccer, it translates as, oh, it's always supposed to be meant as a team sport. And individually, you have to focus on yourself too and make sure that you are where you're at for your team.
Nice. We have here Zuri. Zuri says, "Good morning." Hello, Shannon. Alexis says hi,
Hi, Alexis.
and also she was great in volleyball. If I'm not mistaken, when I advise, because everybody always texts me and calls me, "Hey, Frankie, who's going to be your featured guest this coming week?" And I said, "Oh, well, we have a great athlete, Miss Perez. She'll be on this Sunday." She was like, "Wow, I believe she played 3 or 4 sports. Can you ask her that too?" I was like, "Wow." Could you talk
Yeah.
to us a little bit about that?
Okay, so in middle school, you kind of get like the opportunity to play a lot more sports than you really should have, right? And I mean, I still had my outside teams, but I would still wake up at 6 in the morning, go play volleyball with Coach Alvarez and Coach Niesta. And then I would play soccer with Coach Hassel. And then I would do track and cross country. The only thing I didn't play was softball and basketball. And that was all in middle
Nice.
school.
And how did you have time for all that, Miss Perez?
um, I don't really know because I was doing robotics too. I was high school. I was always top 5%, top 10%. I was always doing HOSA. I went to HOSA State Nationals twice. It would have been a third time, but because of COVID and everything, we didn't get to go over a third time. But I don't know how I had time for it, honestly.
It's very important for an athlete to have a great support system.
Mhm.
You just said it yourself. You probably didn't have time for much. You were involved in so many sports. You have robotics. You also have to focus on your academic career.
Mhm.
Talk to us a little bit about your family. How supportive have they been, and what do they mean to you as a person, as an athlete?
Family has always been very important to me, and they've always supported me. Like I said, waking up, taking me to school at 5 in the morning so I could go to practice, picking me up late at practice at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and then doing it all again the next day. So they've always supported me and made me do what I want to do, and then they've never let me quit. I've never wanted to quit either. So they've always supported me in that sense. And my older brother, he actually just graduated from college this past summer, and he has a chemistry degree. So he's helping me right now focus on my chemistry major and helping me in that sense too.
Just as parents, family have support an athlete, talk to us a little bit about your coaches since your youth to now. What have they done for you as a person, as an athlete, in achieving your goals?
I feel like coaches really shape who you are and who you're going to be because they're with you from when you're little to when you're older. And some outside coaches are like that. They travel with you and they move up with you. And I've had coaches from when I was 5, 6, 7, 8. And I still remember my first soccer coach in Brownsville because I used to play in Los Fresnos, and my first soccer coach from Brownsville, Coach Iglesias, he was the most amazing coach ever. And my middle school coach, he still goes and he sees me play. He saw me play all high school year. He saw me play. He's told me to send him my schedule so he could see me play in college too. So that's just kind of like the chemistry you make with coaches. You're there with them 24/7. They're like a second parent.
Awesome. Well, Coach Prado says, Frankie, say hi to Shannon for me, please. Best of luck in the elections. Also, Coach Prado says, P.S. She can cook real good cakes. Is that true, Miss Perez?
Yes, I've made him cheesecake before.
Is that like a hobby? Is that something that you like to do with your mom, with with your family, or is this just something that you enjoy doing?
That's just something I enjoy doing. I would make cupcakes and stuff for the girls, like Valentine's Day when we're playing a soccer game. I would make everybody Valentine's Day cupcakes, cheesecakes, chocolate flans, everything. I really like baking. It's a hobby, just so relaxing.
Nice. You are a graduating senior this year. Please tell us a little bit about this senior year, because for everybody growing up, we always look forward to our senior year. Unfortunately, you had to deal. You and your classmates had to deal with COVID, the COVID pandemic that we're all dealing with. How has this year been for you as a person, and as your senior year?
Um, well, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of disappointing because we expected to have. So we were at spring break and we're just chilling spring break at the island with our friends, and then we get a text. Oh no, we're not going back to school for another day, and then we get a text. Oh no, we're not going back to school at all. So it was kind of weird. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, let's figure it out, the whole online school thing. And that was still like the beginning of it, so nobody really knew. And some teachers are very like anti school, like online school. So it's kind of hard when you have like a teacher trying to talk to you over school and you're still trying to learn. And we were still before finals, so we were like, oh my gosh, like how are we gonna do this? And I was taking college classes. I was taking forms of literature. So it's like, oh, how am I gonna talk to my teacher about literature over a computer and over text message and stuff like that? So that was kind of hard. And then missing prom, and then we got it. We got to have a graduation. It wasn't what we wanted, but I mean, we got to have one at least. So it was kind of hard.
You talked about how some teachers either they did not prefer distant learning. How have you managed? Is this something that you feel you can you can do throughout your college career, or do you prefer being in the classroom? What has been your experience since spring break um, till graduation?
Um, I feel like it works for some teachers and it doesn't work for others because for some classes you really have to be hands on, and like just like how it is now, like in my college classes, like if my lab was online, I would really struggle because I need to be there with in my lab, like using the chemicals, getting hands on, getting in there, getting dirty, seeing what works and what doesn't. And if I did that online, it'd be very difficult for me, I feel like.
I see. Being a multi sport athlete, when did you know that you might have an opportunity to do this in college? Was there one moment in your life where you're like, hey, I'm onto something, or I can make this into something?
I think my sophomore year, I felt like I didn't I never thought I'd get a scholarship for soccer because I've never thought I was good enough, but I felt like running I could have gotten a scholarship. So my sophomore year I started getting like texts and stuff from coaches and things like that, and like figuring out, okay, my time really does work to play, to run D1, maybe D2, maybe D3. And then junior year things started to come in fast and a lot of coaches started contacting me and stuff. And then senior year, that's when I was like, okay, you know what? I could choose. I have a choice: soccer or cross country.
Well, you received a two scholarships, if I'm not mistaken. You received one for cross country and one for soccer. Tell us a little bit about your mindset, the emotions, and which one did you choose, and what was the determining factor in choosing either the school or the scholarship for you?
I feel like the determining factor was um, family and also education because the school that wanted me to play for run cross country for them, they were in Virginia, and I liked the school and everything, but they really didn't have what I wanted to offer me. education wise, but I felt like I could still get stuff done and I could still get an education there and then I could still apply to medical school. But then this one for soccer, it kind of worked out perfectly because it was only 5 hours away. I could come back home anytime I want if I ever felt like I wanted to come back home. I could take chemistry, biology, I could get my prerequisites for medical school, and then I could and then I could play. So I chose Texas Lutheran.
Nice. Texas Lutheran in Seguin. Uh,
Yes.
what has been your conversation with the coach? Do you anticipate to start right off the bat? What's the roster looking like? What's their season this past year? And what do you anticipate? Being part of the. What are your expectations for being part of the TLU women's soccer program?
So right now, we're talking to the coach and everything and seeing our schedule. We start in February, so they moved our season from fall to spring, so we get a longer preseason, which it honestly helps a lot because we already started practicing. So it helps us like build our condition before the actual season, and I'm kind of used to it because high school you play spring. And with talking to the coach and everything about playing time and stuff, it's really on an earning basis. So if I keep up my good work and in the classroom and there in practice every day, then I feel like I should get some time to play.
Nice. Going back to the COVID very quickly, just so you could give us an insight into what we should expect. What will be the protocol you as an athlete, a collegiate athlete, uh, that you have to take? Will you be tested every once a week? Talk to us a little bit about what you anticipate with COVID and with the upcoming soccer season.
So right now they haven't been requiring us to take tests and stuff for classes or practice, but we are required to keep like an app on our phone, and it kind of tracks our symptoms, and we could put what we're feeling like throughout the day. If you're feeling amazing in the morning, then you're feeling amazing, and you're clear the whole day to travel all you want around campus. And then you could always change those, and you could always contact the health center there on campus because we have a clinic. You can always contact them and then call them and see what you should do and if you should go take a test somewhere there. And being in Seguin, you're really close to San Marcos and San Antonio, so there is rapid test centers where you can get tested within 2 or 3 hours and then get your results within an hour. So that's honestly very helpful. It's not like sometimes here in Brownsville, like I know some friends and were waiting about maybe 4 or 5 days before they got the results back, and over there it's kind of very rapid.
Nice. What will you be majoring in? What's your focus on, and what do you want to do with your career?
So I'm majoring in chemistry with a minor in history, and my focus right now is to get my prerequisites done and then hopefully take my first MCAT exam like by the end of my sophomore year and take another one my junior year and then try to get into medical school my senior year and see if that works out.
Awesome. What is it that motivates you, either as a person individually or as an athlete? Is there something in particular that drives you?
Um, I feel like what drives me is my family because I don't want to let them down and I also want to excel in life. So that's really leading me right now to focus more on my school and soccer and getting my work done.
Awesome. Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Again, either personally or in soccer. Where do you see yourself?
Um, in 5 years, I see myself still in medical school, and then in 10 years, I kind of see myself working either at a hospital or maybe having my own practice. My uncle is a gastroenterologist in Brownsville and in Harlingen, so I kind of like the whole having your own practice kind of thing. So maybe I could do that then.
Awesome. Here we have some pictures, Miss Perez. Could you tell us where this picture was taken and what team, if
Mm,
you can remember?
yes, that's Brownsville United, and that's at the sports park. I think we were playing against a San Antonio team for I think it was quarterfinals or finals. In the outside teams, you really play against a lot of San Antonio, Portland, Corpus Christi teams, and I think that was middle school, maybe eighth grade, ninth grade.
And playing with teams from San Antonio, Corpus. How does that mold you, or how does that make you better as an athlete? Does it push you even further because these girls are either stronger or faster?
Yeah, it really does because you're 5 feet and you're playing against teams that are girls that are 5'11", 5'12", 6 feet. I mean, so you have to get stronger and you have to build your endurance. So it pushes you to an extent, and then you're getting more exposure. So a lot of people are seeing you and they're knowing you, they know your face, so they're challenging you more.
Have you seen a difference in the style of play? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, everywhere you go, whether it's Europe soccer, that's a whole different style of game. If you go to Mexico, Mexico has its own style of game. The U.S., same thing. Have you noticed a difference in style of play since you've been traveling?
Yes, because every coach kind of has their own different kind of like look at how the team should be. And some coaches, they really want you to move with the ball and they really want you to pressure and get everything up there and play with your back defenders and play your goalie too. And some coaches are like, no, I don't want you to pass with the goalie at all. And some coaches just rely on their midfielders and forwards moving the ball up and not really their defense. And then as a defensive player, like here in Brownsville, we really like focus on defense, like supporting you. So we move the ball up most of ourselves. It starts with us and we move it forward. And in San Antonio, and they're they rely more on aggression and doing long balls. Mostly that's what I feel like. And here we kind of focus on like doing short balls and getting it up there and running to the side and crossing the ball in. So it's just different coaching. I feel like that's what makes it different.
Please talk to us a little bit about this picture. I see that it's a rainy day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about the back history with this picture.
I think we were at a tournament in. Oh, I think that was a tournament in San Antonio, something. I'm not sure. I think it's San Antonio. I think so. Yeah.
And what has been your experience with the Lady Eagles since your freshman to now to your senior year? What have you learned? What have you gained? And what is something that you will always carry with you from your experience as an athlete at Hannah High School?
I feel like I gained a lot of close friends. Well, not, not really. I didn't really gain any friends because they were already my friends because I played with them on the outside teams like since I was 8. So I've known them like all my life. So they're like family now, and you've played with them since you were little, so it's like a family. And then all their parents, and you call their mom's mom too because you're all together. You grew up with them when you were bringing Lunchables to practice, when it was parents bring lunch to practice kind of thing. So you grew up with them and they're your family. And then the coaches, like, you're with them for 4 years, so you're like their daughters. You're their second players. They feel sad. My coach cried at my signing. So
Here we have a picture of your signing. Tell us a little bit about your emotions. How did you feel? Who is in this picture here sitting with you at the table?
Okay, so my coach is at the very left. He's in the khakis, and it's my little brother Ethan sitting on the table on the far end, and then my dad, my mom, me, my grandma, my grandpa, and then in the back it's all like my team from Hannah.
I've never signed a letter of intent to play college ball. How was it? How did you feel? Was it all your hard work? Um, you know, tell us your feelings when you signed that letter, having your friends and family on that stage with you, with the cameras flashing their lights. What is it like, man?
So well, you start sweating because you're getting nervous, and then you kind of like want to cry, but then you're like, I can't cry because there's pictures after this. And then It's very emotional because everybody's really proud of you, and then all my coaches went. My soccer coaches from middle school went. My soccer coaches from outside team went. Coaches I played with since I was little. The boys soccer coaches went. My cross country coach went. So did my whole cross country team. Although they were kind of disappointed in me that I didn't choose cross country, but they still went to support me. And all the girls were there. It was just very nervous. And then when you sign the paper, it's kind of like a big weight's lifted off your shoulders. Like, okay, I'm going to college now. I'm gonna go to college. Like, yes, I'm going to college. And then you're kind of proud of yourself. And then you're kind of thinking, okay, like I'm going to college, and I just signed this letter, but now what's next?
Well, what is next? We are dealing with COVID. How has the training been for you these past couple months?
Training's been very good actually. So, we get to practice. We kind of have we're kind of separated between like our it's like coach calls it our gold group and our black group, and we're separated by like the black group is seniors and juniors that are kind of together all day. They have the same classes. They're in the same dorms. And then it's sophomores and freshmen. We're in the same dorms. We're in the same classes. So we kind of stick together. And then we're separated during practice. We don't do a lot of like physical drills where we're on top of each other. So we're doing our conditioning, and then we're playing. Right now, NCAA has allowed us to play 7-on-7. So then I think on the 20th we were allowed to play 11-on-11 during practice and stuff, just to keep like going and going. But we have to wear a mask during practice, and we have to bring our own water bottles. So bring your own water bottles. You can fill it up with a jug, but you just have to be safe.
What's your message to athletes, student athletes? It's hard for somebody in the pros to try and relate to someone like yourself, a teenager, an adolescent. But it's very important for our young athletes, our student athletes, to hear from somebody like yourself who has done great academically and has just received an opportunity to play uh, college ball. What's your message to the athletes out there, either regards to training, regards to dieting, regards to academics? What's your message, man?
Um, Dieting, I feel like just do away with it. You don't need a diet, just in moderation. You could have your bag of hot Cheetos with your Snapple. You could have your tamales. You could have anything you want. Just don't go crazy and overboard about it. And you're still working out, so you're still getting your workouts in. And it's better as an athlete not only to train with your coach and with your team, but to train apart from them too, because you can't stop working. You need to work continuously. And then I feel like they need athletes need to focus on their education, because that's a main part of it. And most of the time, athletes won't be given scholarships because of they're lacking in the education part of it. So, like I said, nobody wants an athlete who's not focused on their education too. You want to be a student athlete.
Any special shouts out, ma'am, that you would like to give?
Um, I just met my brother. I think he's watching it in his room.
Well, once again, thank you so much, Ms. Perez, for accepting the invitation to come out on Sports Talk. Uh, it's important for us as a community to support, encourage, and motivate our student athletes, our youth within our area to do everything in their power to achieve their goals. You are a great testament of somebody who is determined, motivated, that you could accomplish anything you'd like through hard work and through being disciplined. Um, just want you to know that your family at Hannah High School, your Perez family, and hopefully now your Sports Talk family is here for anything that you need. We're just a message away, and maybe sometime down the future, ma'am, once you're in season, you could come back on with us, be here on the show, just to catch up and to see where how your life is going. How does that sound?
Yeah, I would love to. Thank you.
Once again, Ms. Perez, thank you so much, man, for your time. We're wishing you nothing but the best, and hopefully in 5 or 10 years, we will now say Dr. Shannon Perez. How does that sound?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Good luck, man, with everything that you do. Um, keep on keep on achieving your goals, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you so much. Great student athlete, great person, Miss Shannon Perez. It was an honor to have Miss Perez on the show this morning. How's it going, Dario?
Morning, Frankie. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
Good to
Did you
hear.
watch the Astros last night, Dario?
Oh man, tough here. I got to start up with that, dude.
Hey,
uh,
go
I
for it.
mean, it was almost a miracle that the Astros even forced the game seven. They were down 3-0. If anybody didn't know that, never done before since the '04 Red Sox. There's a big. It was with the season was shortened, so there might be an asterisk next to this MLB postseason, which that's up to their own. But the Rays are doing something where in the ALDS they beat the Yankees. LeMahieu was playing all right. Stanton was hitting the ball well. Judge had a couple of big plays. Cole was pitching well, and they stepped up and they beat the Astros too in the ALCS. So the Rays might be onto something right now. I might get that chip. You know what I mean?
Dario, what's very impressive is the Rays have one of the smallest budgets, one of the smallest payrolls in the entire major leagues. The Yankees, they're in like the 240, close to $300 million payroll for their team, and the Rays and I'm gonna give a ballpark number. I think it's less than like 40 mil. It's something so crazy. Now, does that goes into analytics? Does that go into having a GM that is very resourceful, obviously, but it's just very impressive. And I congratulate the Astros. It wasn't easy being down 3-0. It looked like it was going to be a sweep, game in and game out. After starting game 4, they came out swinging. Unfortunately, the Tampa Bay Rays, they just had a good game 7. They started off strong, and it was hard for the Astros really to get into that momentum. I feel, and this is bad for me to say, but I feel that if they had an inning or two left, I honestly think the Astros could have pulled it off. They were that close. They had runners on first and second. The score was 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Bregman was on, and I was like, this is what we need. He's going to get a double in the gap. He's going to bring in these 2 runs. It's going to be 4-4. We're going to go into extra innings. I was so excited. And then the relief pitcher throws a 100-mile-an-hour fastball high and away, and Bregman swung, and it was over. And it was kind of like reality for me. Unfortunately, started setting in at the top of the 9th. I was like, man, I don't think they're going to make it. Paco says all their starting pitchers make under $600K. Wow.
You can call it an issue, but it's a topic worth discussing because you brought up the Yankees, and just for anybody that doesn't understand baseball a little bit, there is no salary cap in all these other major sports. All these teams have a salary cap where they gotta have a budget and they can't go over that budget. But in the baseball, the revenue that these big teams are bringing in, they can put that all back into their players, the salary on their players. So when you see a team like the Yankees, who might be the most profitable organization in the major league, which they are, in the Major League Baseball, they have so much more revenue to sign better, usually better players, deeper rosters, better pitching, than someone that they're playing against, like against in Tampa Bay Rays, where their salary cap is a fraction of what the Yankees are spending just on players alone. So when the Rays do something like this against a big name team like the New York Yankees and then do it again against the Houston Nationals, it's got to be more than just what the paychecks are saying. It's got to be more than what's in their pockets. It might be the heart that they're playing with. It might be the game plan the coaching staff is bringing on the table. But they're doing something in Tampa Bay where they're in the World Series right now.
Highest player is Morton at $15 million a year, and I think Morton won the World Series with the Astros. Is that correct?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, Frankie.
I believe he played for the Astros, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe he won Game 7 against the Dodgers.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So for him to win against the Astros was kind of, coming full circle. But again, great game from the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday. Ray, Tampa Bay Moneyball Part 2. Again, great ball club that has been set up by the front office, by the Tampa Bay front office. Again, they're very resourceful. They don't really have that pitcher making 30 mil, 20 mil a year. They have great utility players. They have players from Cuba that are really contributing to this ball club. So that says a lot. And again, you have to do with what you got. And that has been the mentality of the Rays for this past season. So again, it's very impressive, Darío, to have a team in the World Series. And again, they made it to the World Series back in, who did they play? The Giants. I forget. They made it back. Maybe I want to say 10 years ago. Again, they've always been a small payroll team. So it's very impressive for a team like this to be competitive in a division, Darío, that has the Red Sox, who is not shy to spend money, and the New York Yankees, how you just mentioned, they spend money, and they spend to win every year. So it is very impressive for that. Not pitchers, field position players. The field position players do make under $600K. Paco is correct. The pitchers, Morton did make 15 mil this year. Last night's starters, Morton and McCullers, won Game 7 when they were with the Astros. There you go. So they were with the Astros. So very impressive. 2008 versus the Phillies. Thank you, Ramos. I missed you, man.
That's coming in clutch with those numbers.
Yeah, that's right. The Tampa Bay Rays did get swept by the Phillies in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. I was rooting for the Rays, but unfortunately, they didn't pull off. Now, Darío, Game 7. I want to get your take on this game. Again, the Braves came out strong. They started off 2-0. Everybody was like, "Uh-oh, here we go again for the Dodgers." Clayton Kershaw, Darío, for whatever reason, he doesn't come up clutch when it counts. He's a Cy Young Award winner. Very dominant. Very dominant in the regular season. But for whatever reason, when it comes to crunch time, he's nowhere to be found. Give us your. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Frankie. That's a good point that you brought up about their ace pitcher, who that the Dodgers put the franchise on this guy. He's got car commercials. He's got big name sponsorships. Clayton Kershaw. He's putting up tremendous numbers in the regular season and opponents that it's the regular season. But in the postseason for the last couple years, Clayton Kershaw just doesn't show up. He's not shut out. He's not that shutout starting pitcher that they have to relieve him. Halfway through the game. But baseball's so different than all these other games where it's a rhythm thing. Not just batting is a rhythm. The pitching it's a groove. It's a rhythm where if you're cold, you're really cold. If you're hot, you could ride that wave to the World Series where it might be what the Rays are doing right now. But Clayton Kershaw, they're giving the ball to Clayton Kershaw. Is Clayton Kershaw pitching Game 7? He pitched Game 6, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I honestly I don't think he is. I can check very quickly, but I think the Dodgers do have momentum. You do make a great point. Baseball is about a game of momentum. Actually, today it's going to be Atlanta's going to have Ian Anderson, who's got a 2-0 record this postseason, and surprisingly for the Dodgers is Tony Gonsolin. And again, I expect for this to be a pitching by committee for the Dodgers. I anticipate pitchers coming in for 2 or 3 innings. Maybe Kershaw might give it a run in the 5th to 6th inning, just depending on how the game goes. If it gets very tight, they might put him in there. But as of right now, Ray has a great point. The Dodgers have momentum. Corey Seager has been hot. Will Smith has been hot. So you're right, Darío. Again, baseball is all about momentum, and right now, in my opinion, I think the Dodgers have momentum.
It's a good point you brought up there with the. This is what the whole point of the season is to win that World Series, and the Dodgers have been right there for the last couple of years. It might be a manager thing. It might be something. They just picked up Mookie Betts. More salary. We go back to that salary cap topic. I think you're right, Frankie. Where they're gonna roll out that whole that bullpen's always gonna have someone warming up. I think those pitchers are, if they're going just for 2/3 of an innings pitch, they get out of a tough spot. I think they're going to utilize every pitcher in that bullpen. I think they should, because this is what you play for. It's a Game 7. They forced a Game 7. This is what they play. We'll see what they do. It should be a good game. Before we shift to football, Frankie, I want to just encourage everyone to go vote. It's early voting right now. If you're going to hold out to Election Day on November 3rd, it's going to be a whole day thing. You might have to take the day off work. You're going to be in line for the whole day just to see the ballot. You know what I mean? So early voting, you're in and out of there. You look into it. There's some local spots so you can get in and out of there. Cast your vote. Vote for Frankie.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much. My name is Frank. My name is Frankie Olivo, and I approve that message.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
let's shift to football. Heartbreaking.
Very quickly, who do you have? The Dodgers or the Atlanta, and why?
I got Atlanta. Why? Because the Dodgers haven't been able to do it, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it. We'll see, but I got Atlanta.
We have the Texans. The Texans finally got their first win last week against the Jaguars after they fired their head coach, Bill O'Brien. Romeo Crennel is named the intern, and they are playing a divisional rival in the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are favored to win by 4. The over-under is 52.5. Who do you have winning this game, Darío?
I have the Titans. No one's really talking about Ryan Tannehill and what Tennessee is doing passing the ball. Tannehill doesn't turn the ball over. Henry, I don't know if everybody saw that stat. Henry made a grown man fly with that stiff arm. So it just shows you that these guys are playing football, and they're playing good football. So the Titans, it looks like they might win that division, the AFC South. They got the Colts. The Colts are dealing with this COVID. Just bringing up COVID, the Colts had to close their facilities down for either 1 or 2 straight days and they're still playing. So, and every day in the NFL, they're going over some kind of team meeting or practice or something. So I think, maybe that if these players can't stay healthy and they're missing out practices and meetings and stuff, it might change the game a little bit. But I like the Titans. The Texans. Heart goes out to the Texans, but it's gonna be a while before they do something, unless there's a miracle that Deshaun Watson can pull out.
I agree. Tannehill is a very good quarterback. If you look at his stats, some are comparing him to Lamar Jackson. He's also a dual threat. He is able to scramble. So I do like the Tennessee Titans this morning. I don't see I also like their defense, Darío. Their defense is very, very good. Standout defense. You have to beat them in the passing game, and right now the Texans do not have the offensive line or the weapons. Unfortunately, after they got rid of Hopkins, they don't have the weapons necessary, in my opinion, to win this game. So I have the Tennessee Titans winning today. A great matchup today. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers will travel to Tampa Bay and face Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Green Bay is favored to win by 1.5. Over under is 54.5. What's your take on this game, Dario?
My take right now is the Las Vegas and these fans, they're not giving any respect to Tom Brady and Bruce Arians right now. I think they have something to prove. I think Brady's angry. I think they're talking about he's an old man. He didn't know his fourth down, blah, blah, blah. I think Tom Brady and the Buccaneers have something. At home, they have the Green Bay Packers as the favorites. Oh, man, if I'm just saying, if Tom Brady, put some respect on Tom Brady, even though it's a regular season and it's pandemic, Tom Brady's still balling, you know. Yeah, Matt LaFleur in Green Bay is doing something amazing. They're playing great football in Green Bay right now, but at home they have the Buccaneers as the underdog. I think we're going to see a performance today from Brady, and Arians is going to rally that defense, and we're going to see a great game. Hopefully, a great performance from Brady as well.
I agree with you. What I like about the Packers, though, is that they have a high-powered offense. Jones lines up as wide receiver, and that guy is a threat. It's going to be a very close game. I agree with you. The only thing that is working against the Bucs is injuries. They've had several receivers that are kind of their tight end just tore his Achilles. I forgot his name. So and Gronk hasn't really done much this year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if well, obviously the having 1 year off takes its toll on the body. So getting used to that football shape takes some time. We are in week six, week 6, if I'm not mistaken. So again, we have not heard from Gronkowski this year, but I'm going to disagree with you, Dario. I think the Packers will win this game. Again, they have a high-powered offense. They are tough to stop. But again, we will see. I personally am rooting for Tom Brady. I hope, by the looks of it right now, I do feel that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the NFC South. The Panthers aren't being competitive. The Saints, surprisingly, have not been competitive. So again, we'll see how this division goes. But for this game, I like the Packers in this game.
All right, let's shift to the Cowboys game, Frankie. Our blessings and our hearts and prayers are out to Dak Prescott. Tough time for Dak, losing his brother in the offseason. His mother's died of breast cancer. He breaks his leg, ending his season, prematurely ending his season. But Andy Dalton, the backup quarterback for the Cowboys, I don't know if you remember when he was in the Cincinnati Bengals, there was 4 or 5 straight postseason berths with Andy Dalton. They won the AFC North with the Steelers and the Ravens, who, after that Super Bowl, you could say the Ravens kind of declined a little bit. Joe Flacco, they ended up getting Lamar Jackson, that first-round pick. And the Steelers always been, with Big Ben and Mike Tomlin and that defense, they're always a decent team. But the Cincinnati Bengals, 4 or 5 straight playoffs berths just 6-7 years ago. And Andy Dalton is a type of quarterback where, in Cincinnati at least, that what he was playing, he was just a distributor of the football. He would look for AJ Green. He would get the ball to the best. He would get the ball in the hands of the best offensive players. A very distributor, just kind of coasted, carried by the talent surrounded by Andy Dalton. He doesn't throw a lot. He never threw a lot of picks, high percentage throws, high QBR, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, gets the chains moving. At least this was in Cincinnati. Well, let's see what Mike McCarthy does. Where Mike McCarthy's doing we saw exactly what Mike McCarthy is doing when he was playing in Lambeau Field with the Green Bay Packers. He would give the ball to the quarterback and say, "You're the face of the franchise. We're gonna put the whole team on your shoulders." And you see, look at the defense. He even tells the defense is even thinking, "Now we got Dak back there." And the same thing McCarthy was doing the same thing in Green Bay. The defense was thinking, we got Aaron Rodgers back there. Well, let him convert that 3rd and 10. Let Aaron Rodgers, and in this case Dak Prescott, come down from 2 scores down in the 4th quarter. Where this injury to Dak might give the defense the mentality where, oh crap, we got to step up because we have a backup quarterback in. Maybe this fuels the defense saying, we can't let up any points. We can't let up any scores. We got to stop them on 3rd down. And Andy Dalton, if Andy Dalton does what Andy Dalton has proven he can do, which is just, back to my point, just the distributor of the ball, doesn't turn the ball over, not going to wow you with any arm strength, and not going to wow you with any, wow, that's a great accurate pass, but he's not going to make a lot of mistakes, hold on to the football, not really primarily a pocket passer, but he's going to get the ball to the Cowboys' best players on offense, who could be Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb is stepping up big with all these receptions. Zeke still hasn't had any massive games running the ball, which, hopefully, they get the ball running, and, hopefully with Andy Dalton. But the season is not over for the Cowboys. It's still the Eagles' division to lose, in my opinion, but the Cowboys' season is not over.
Again, it's very, very disappointing for Dak to go down the way he did. And you make a great point. There's an individual who lost his mother, lost his brother, and then now, he's hurt. He's injured. He's going to be out for a while. Hopefully, he is mentally strong for this, because his recovery is not going to be easy. And again, one thing that I learned from this, and I always try to make life lessons out of things, he had a chance to sign $100 million contract. His agent, for whatever reason, advised him not to. I understand, we saw what Mahomes signed for. We saw what Watson signed for. So logically, you would think, I'm next. I should be signing that same contract. What I learned, Dario, is don't be greedy, because we never have opportunity. Opportunities are not always going to come. We have to take advantage of each and every moment and seize it. I hate to say this, but Dak Prescott made the wrong move. Now,
absolutely, Frankie. Absolutely.
He's not worth $100 million.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The only person who has signed 2 $100 million contracts is Michael Vick, but Michael Vick didn't suffer a gruesome injury, so recovery is going to be very, very long for Dak Prescott. We heard Jerry Jones say that, hey, we're gonna take care of him, but Jerry ain't gonna give him $100 million contract. So again, I love sports because it teaches us a lot about life. One thing that I learned from this is don't be greedy because $100 million changes your generations.
And Frankie,
his kids wouldn't have to work.
Talking about the size of the size of this man's pockets right now. I said it before and I'll say it again. That contract offer would have made Dak the highest paid quarterback at that time. Mahomes and Watson signed. But at that time, that offer, he would have been getting something around $45 million a year for 3-4 years. Dak turned that down. And I said at that moment, Dak will never see a contract offer that big. He's getting $45 million a year for how many, a couple years. Dak, oh, man, I know Perez go out to him, but he's never going to see that money again. The Cowboys are going against the Cardinals today. The Cardinals coming off a big win against the 49ers, 24-20 win. Kyler Murray's playing well. Kingsbury's doing something where the Cardinals are 3-2.
Yeah.
So, they have a better record than the Cowboys. The Cowboys, their schedule is not that difficult, Frankie. They play this game, then they got, I think, they got Washington and the Eagles, and then someone else, and they got a bye. Then it goes back to Washington. So the Cowboys just need to, they gotta hold up on defense. Andy Dalton, if Andy Dalton does what he does, he won't be throwing a lot of interceptions. But the thing is, the Cowboys, they get down early, and when you're down early, the whole mentality, you can't establish the run, you can't get your game plan. When you're down early, we got to score. So if the defense holds up and said stick to their guns and say we can't be down early and put our quarterback in a situation where he's always down. He's always got to come back, always got to score the ball, always got to score a touchdown. Where the defense got to step up and, let the quarterback, get the ball more, get some offensive momentum.
I agree. The Cowboys offense has many, many weapons. Unfortunately, it's our defense that are giving up, I think, the most, or not the second most points per game. I think they're at averaging like 32 points per game, which you can't win a ball game if your defense is out on the field the majority of the time, giving up big plays, giving up a lot of points. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting game, Monday night primetime. I hope to go to the South Most Pitada after the game, but we'll see. I do have confidence in Andy Dalton. He is a very good backup quarterback, and I think he's a pretty good starter, especially with all the weapons we have. Unfortunately, the only thing that our team is lacking is having a good defensive coach, and I have no trust in Nolan right now. He hasn't done much for this during this season. Luckily for us, we play in the NFC East, where Washington, Eagles, Giants, they're doing horrible. So we just need. I wouldn't be surprised at you if we go 7-9 and we make the playoffs.
Yeah, so, but if you're a Cowboys fan, I want Cowboys fans to take a look at their franchise, take a look at their organization just quickly. Are the Cowboys is good enough just winning the division? Yeah, you get a playoff berth. Yeah, you're the best team in the weak NFC East. Yeah, we might have a 500 schedule. We get a playoff berth. Or is it a mentality where now let's make a run for that chip? Let's make a run for that Lombardi trophy. And is a division win, a playoff berth good enough, or is it time to start looking at the Lombardi trophy?
Again, we'll see. We got great matchups going on this week. Baseball Game 7. Make sure you tune in. I will be tuning in to 7:30. Game 7. Tampa Bay is already in the World Series. The World Series starts on Tuesday, so looking forward to that. Any last words, Dario?
Any last words? Hearts go out to Dak Prescott. Hope everyone's having a very blessed Sunday. God bless everyone. See you next Sunday, Frankie.
See you, brother. Love you, man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you once again to Miss Shannon Perez for coming on with us so our community can know a little bit about her. We are very excited for her career academically and collegiately, playing soccer at TLU. We wish her nothing but the best. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She seems like a very determined, motivated young lady. So we have great expectations for her. And hopefully during the season next year, she'll be available and she'll come out on with us to see how her transition has been in Seguin, Texas. Thank you once again for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for the love and support. My name is Frankie Olivo, and this is Sports Talk. Thank you so much.